Welcome to the Autoimmune Awareness Hop. I'm using Awareness Stamp by Pajama Crafter Stamps, Altenew Piped Waffle Die, Scrapbook.com Hurlem Butterflies Die, and Brutus Monroe and Unity Sweet Friend 6x6 paper collection. Autoimmune diseases are conditions where your immune system mistakenly attacks your own body instead of protecting it. I'm going to be making a card with the focal point being a butterfly with the teal ribbon as the body. The teal ribbon represents scleroderma awareness. Teal symbolizes support for those fighting this autoimmune disease. June is our recognized month as National Scleroderma Awareness Month, during which this ribbon is worn, and the sunflower is also used as the international symbol for this disease. I'm going to share details of how I am making this card, along with facts about scleroderma and autoimmune in general. I use this beautiful pattern paper that not only has teal in the paper, but it paired very well with brown. These colors go well with gold, so I use the pipe waffle die cutting the image out with gold cardstock. I used Barely Arts glue to make it easy to adhere the die cut image. And as I was doing this, I thought about sticky back adhesive that I have that I tend to forget about, but that would have worked really, really well. As you can see, I had some areas that were not totally glued down, so I had to add some additional adhesive to that. There's excess pieces hanging off my mat, so you can see me cutting that off on the left and the right hand side using my microtip scissors. Next step is stamping my sentiments. I know I wanted 2 strong sentiments on this card, so I positioned my mat and my butterfly so I can determine where I wanted to stamp. I wanted to use the word warrior, which I definitely did use, and I was thinking about brave, but I didn't like how small that stamp was, so I decided to use the word strength, and I thought that rounded out the size of the sentiment on the bottom with the size of the sentiment on the top. Both very dynamic words that I am stamping with my Misty. I like a very dark impression, so I normally will stamp my sentiment or my images twice. In this case, my paper moved slightly, so I did not end up going in with the second impression. So next up, I am going to be coloring the ribbon using a Copic marker. You're going to end up seeing me fussy cut out this image using my microtip scissors, and I'm going to layer this ribbon with 3D foam tape on top of the body of the butterfly. So you're going to see me do all that while I continue to give you some facts about what it is that I deal with autoimmune diseases, as well as, my reality. So a few fun facts: I share this body with discoid lupus, Raynaud syndrome, ILD, which is lung disease, and the infamous scleroderma. Now, scleroderma, most people have no clue what that is. And I think that one of the things that I've learned over the last few years since I've been diagnosed is the importance of sharing awareness and research as we try to find a cure. So scleroderma causes the body to produce too much collagen, leading to hardening and tightening issues with our skin. Some of the common symptoms are, again, skin becomes very, very tight. Fingers and hands become very stiff, creating limited movement and mobility. A lot of open ulcers on the fingers, sometimes leading to amputation of fingers and toes. Changes in appearance, I would say that is the one that I've struggled with over the last couple years. when I look in the mirror, I do not see the same person, as I have experienced facial changes. But I'm living with it. Raynaud's syndrome, which is the big one for me, I tend to have flare-ups daily due to stressors and cold. Reduced flexibility and mobility. There's times that I deal with a lot of fatigue, but I keep it moving. And then there's also a lot that is happening inside your body that people don't see with internal organ impact. And unfortunately, there isn't a cure. So those are just a few symptoms that people deal with. One of the things I will say, just based on people that I've met that have scleroderma and my continued research, is that all of our stories are totally different for all of us that are living with scleroderma. So let's talk about misconceptions of people living with autoimmune diseases. A lot of times you'll hear, you don't look sick, so you must be fine. People have no clue what people deal with on a daily basis when it comes to autoimmunes. I tend to try to give people grace to the best of my ability. I try to stay positive and on the right side of the energy map. So I definitely encourage people to try to do the same just when it comes to the emotional toll it can take on you mentally and physically. Something else you tend to hear is autoimmunes are rare. They really, really aren't. That is so false. In fact, there's over 100 conditions affecting millions of people worldwide. Something else that you tend to hear is if you have one autoimmune, you can't have another. That's another false misconception. If you have one autoimmune, you're at a higher risk for developing additional conditions. So how can you support your family and friends that are living with autoimmune diseases? Active listening without judgment, validating their hidden pain and fatigue, providing practical, tangible assistance. Some key support strategies are helping with chores, respecting medical choices, facilitating rest, encouraging social connection, while respecting boundaries, just to name a few. The emotional part definitely can play tricks on you. You and the person that you're helping support can help, you guys could work through and decide what's going to work best. So to finish up this card, again, I love some gold. So you see me adding some gold thread to the back of this butterfly. It just gives it a little bit of flair when I add this to my card base. And lastly, I'm going to finish up this card by adding some pearls that are gold. It was the perfect touch. You can see that I'm looking for different sizes, so I'm using some small, medium, and large. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down with some glue as well. And that is about it when it comes to the card. I'm done. So I hope this hop brought some awareness to autoimmunes, specifically those that are impacting me. Please keep hopping and see the amazing projects and learn more about autoimmune diseases. And until next time, thank you guys so much for stopping by.